initiations as a polearm?
Most of the initiations from a polearm are going to be when your opponent is distracted or when your opponent is otherwise compromised. There's not a lot you can do against a good sword and border where you are engaging them first. There is a couple of shots. They're low probability. They're very flashy, and I don't like throwing them because I've seen a lot of people get hurt. I'm sure you've all seen the what is it? Come try LARP,
Yep.
where the guy is like I don't like doing stuff like that. Yeah, like I don't like big spinny shots. I don't like big spinny shots. I don't like shots that can potentially whack somebody in the side of the head and hurt them. I like to do things as quickly and efficiently as possible. And I like to do them with as little flair and as much lethality as you can get. So I don't throw a lot of like, I'm gonna jump and hit your shoulder. Like, I don't throw a lot of that. If you absolutely want to engage on a shield person, and they know you're coming, the one shot that I will throw that is pretty high probability and pretty low danger that is to a high quadrant is.
Sorry, I do that very slowly and I don't.
Okay. Go ahead and choke up in yours, just like that. Yes, we do that. No, you're good. Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's fairly high probability, and you're not likely to hurt somebody because you're not aiming for like a shoulder with a very rapid strike. But yeah, it's the same with blade beating with any other type of weapon. You want to aim low on the person's blade and then straight down onto their arm.
Now, do you recommend as you come in, drop, or come in and then pull back?
I recommend coming in with the
chop?
I recommend coming in with a small circle after you blade beat, boom, up and down.
Okay.
And keep in mind, they know you're there. You're going to have to be moving while you do this.
Yeah.
So you're going to want to be like lateraling out.
Is it more forearm than it is upper arm?
Has anybody here rowed a boat?
Yeah.
So if you hold your great weapon like an oar and you row your boat, it's a very small, compact version of that. So you're going to blade beat and row your boat. Blade beat, row your boat. Okay. So they know you're coming. They know you're there. Literally just blade beat, big circle or small circle, I guess, and then take the arm. I will almost never go for shoulders with a polearm. I don't like hurting people, even by accident. So yeah, I'm not going to, like this right here. Just drop your, like there. Like their shoulder is the width of my pole blade. That is a very low probability shot, and if I miss by an inch, I'm clocking them in the neck with a literal blunt instrument, because of all of the weapons in Amp Guard and DAG, this is the one that's most likely to hurt somebody. I don't throw a lot of shoulder shots.
Would you say that that's maybe not a good shot if their sword is like their head?
No, because you can blade beat them. Go ahead and pull it super in like that, because I can blade beat higher on the blade. So in that instance, they know I'm coming. They know I'm engaging them. Like they choke in. Worst possible scenario, I blade beat that and I don't expose a shot. They also don't have the ability to throw a shot against me. And now they're like, oh no, my sword, their body or their brain is going to like blue screen because you just interrupted their train of thought. So you can blade beat, take advantage of that blue screen. You're going to, boom, eliminate their ability to throw a shot. Now they have to think and recover into a place where they can throw a shot. And at that point, my blade's already down here. Just fulcrum onto that hip. Any questions on that one? And this is more fighter theory than it is shots, but I'm here for it. Like, I love fighter theory. So any other questions?
Rainbow, right? Do they have it at the top?
Do what?
Like a little rainbow.
More or less, yeah. It's, well, it's like playing Fruit Ninja. You're going to do a straight slice and then a straight slice. Like, boom, boom. So if I blade beat and they recover and I throw that shot, I'm going to lateral out and bring my blade back up to get my distance between them. That is probably the only time I will fight from a high guard, because at that point, I'm going to punish their shield to keep them from trying to get close to me. And I'm not going to do anything intentionally to try and hurt them, but as they're stepping in, go ahead and choke up on your shield. I'll put a little bit onto their shield as hard as reasonably possible to get them to be like, whoa, you don't want to hurt them? What's up?
Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So from that point, if I blade beat, I don't open a target, they block that, I'm coming up and immediately chopping that shield so that I can get away and reestablish my range control. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yes. Do you have any tips for maintaining a certain amount of control of the fight when you only have one hand?
For one hand as a polearm?
Your arm as a polearm. Like, do you have any tips?
Excellent. Yes. So if somebody, like, if I lost an arm somewhere in another fight and I find myself having to fight somebody with a shield, I'm going to use the rest of my body to my advantage, right? Like that. Use your body. It says you cannot hold a weapon in your hand. It does not say you cannot use your arm just to stabilize it. So hold it on your arm, right? Hip action. Hip action. You can still throw a very substantial shot like that.
Do you ever throw knee shots?
I try not to throw knee shots. It depends on the height of the opponent. I feel like I've thrown knee shots on her quite a bit because.
Using your knees. So essentially here and doing a quick swipe to the lower leg.
No, I do not.
Okay,
Because because why would I limit my ability to throw, to move and throw shots? Like if I'm using this, I can still move if they press in on me.
Okay.
If I throw this, I can't move.
Gotcha.
Kurai was just doing a little bit of experimenting. You can also throw from your hip. If you want to throw here, you can rest your pole on the ground and then like just bring it up. Yeah, you can get a lot of oomph using your body as the, yeah, you stand right there. So I'm armed, I'm tired, I've been ditching a lot. They charge in on me. Oh shit. Footwork. But yeah, so they push in on me and I'm tired. Just, you can still throw a very significant shot. Okay. I'll almost always use overhand on the back end of the pole. I mean, because this, like, you can't really fight like that. So, yeah.
I just had someone show me that shot because this was too similar to murder chopping, and a lot of people were getting headshotted or something like that.
Yeah, don't murder chop people.
Control to go for the side.
Yeah, no, like I said, I will not throw low probability high quadrant shots. But yeah, like you can just off your hip, use your hip as a fulcrum. You can throw arm, you can throw lower leg, you can throw hip, like off your arm too. Like you can still throw a pretty significant shot even if you only have one arm. And the great thing about a pole is because it's all angles and fulcrum, you can do it from both sides. You can also, for Luis's question, you can also do a Spartan stab. A Spartan stab. So hear me out. This is going to take you to really sell this shot, but when you get it, it will be the high point of your amp guard career until the next high point of your amp guard career. So if I'm armed and I'm tired, I'm like this, right? You laugh. I have done that. I have done it in sword and board, armed. Hold your sword in your board side. Like that. Board, sword. You get armed, you transition.
close and just freaking work them.
So no, I call it a Spartan stab because the movie 300, they're always like. So yeah, you've got to really sell it, and they will almost never expect it, and that is one of those shots where your opponent's hubris is going to get a hold of them because they're going to see somebody with a polearm in their offhand, armed, and they're going to be like, "Oh, this is easy," and then you go, and everyone's natural reaction is look at the bird. Yeah, so you're. Any other questions? Fighter theory? Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, I'm talking about how I use that in flow a lot. Like
I'll
lead with one sword here and just pick up with the other. So it's misdirection with the flow.
Yeah. Any questions? Any fighter theory questions? Do I ever guard? Yes. So if I'm in a line fight or if I found myself in a position to where I have to be one-on-one with a shield person and I cannot get away from them, like no matter how much lateral movement I'm doing, no matter how much chopping at them I'm doing, they're stuck on me. I will throw a guard out if they throw a shot. Yeah. You want to put your weapon as close to their weapon as you can get it. That way, as they're moving, you're moving. You're putting something between the two of you. And hopefully you'll get to the point to where you can open up a shot to where you can just drop your blade straight down.
You're trying to keep their weapon between your hands.
Yes. Yes, exactly, just like that. And as they move their weapon, yeah. Also, who here plays Bell? Great, I love Bell fighters. If they're really, really stuck on you and you cannot get them to go away, right? Like, so no, you're fine. Don't be sorry, I like that. No, but like, yeah, if they're really stuck on you, just give them a little shove while you're backing away. Like that's Bell legal. I'm actually pretty sure that's amp legal too, but yeah, just give them a little shove and back away. As long as you're not punching them, yeah. So if your hands do not touch their equipment and only your pole does, I believe that's still amp guard legal. But yeah, you can just give them a little shove as you're walking away. Oops. As you're walking away, I recovered. I just want it noted.
And then you talk about pole on pole fighting.
I do. That's actually going to be the next part of this. Everybody comfortable with the pole on sword and board? Question.
Right, this isn't related to that necessarily.
Okay.
I don't know what it's related to, but like in terms of practicing.
Yes.
Right. So with sword and board, or just like sword, you can tell.
Yeah.
What do you recommend doing to work on those movements?
Pel.
Just with a pel?
Yeah, like if I set up a pel right here, I can literally just throw that shot and straight up. Throw that shot and straight up. I can take a step and throw that wrap. Like take a piece of duct tape and tape the horizontal lines where your shots are. So like this is where the hips are for the person I'm planning on throwing this shot against. And then take your step and throw that shot. Bam. Until you are confident that you can throw that without thinking about it. And then once you can throw it without thinking about it, you want to add a level of complexity into it. So at that point, once you can take that step and throw that shot on a pel without with a decent level of consistency and without having to put a lot of thought into it, then you want to start like employing a friend and be like, I want you to take 2 steps towards me. Right? You want to add a layer of complexity to it. And you want to continue adding layers of complexity to your practice until you can decently account for most reasonable things somebody is going to do. Very good question. Anybody else?
So we talked a lot about unfavorable matchups with like polearm versus sword and board. Mm-hmm. What would you recommend for Florentine fighters fighting a polearm? Like, what is the safe way as a Florentine fighter to engage a polearm about knowing the strengths and weaknesses here?
Beware of stabs. You want to grab a couple of swords and I'll.
Yeah.
Do what?
Do you ever change your method for fighting it at the pole?
All the time. Oh yeah. Like if you watch videos of me fighting 10 years ago with a pole, I was a completely different fighter. Like gave very little F's about any of the people that I like. I went through a phase where people were just targets, so I would murder strike somebody. Like, no, it's fine. Like,
Okay, who's not as hateful anymore?
I'm not hateful anymore.
As hateful.
I'm not as hateful anymore. In fact, funny story.
I said what I said.
In fact, funny story. I was ditching at SKBC, and one of my friends, Shimazu, was like, "Hey, they're really rushing this line. Can you fight like you would have 5 years ago, just for a couple of rounds?" And I'm like, "Okay." Like,
Sometimes you gotta be hateful.
sometimes you gotta. I don't recommend that. So if you're Florentine and you're fighting against the pole, I recommend the only thing that they've really got on you, other than being able to power through your blocks, is stabs. So I would beware, like outside stabs and inside stabs. What you want to do is do your best to parry those stabs as they're coming in. Exactly. Take the step. What you want to do is ride the blade and then hit them any way that you can. Because once you get past, like right here, unless they are moving much quicker than you laterally or backwards, you're going to outpace their ability to recover and throw shots against you. Now, with a different kind of great weapon, that's for a pole. May I borrow your reaping blade?
Just as a Florentiner against polearms and
Yeah.
greats, just have really good gloves.
Yes, really good gloves, very good gloves.
Do as I say, not as I do.
If you're fighting against somebody who has a much longer striking surface, it's much harder to get inside their striking surface, obviously, because if let's say I throw a stab and he parries out, right? I can literally just,
That's still it, yeah.
yeah. Because my striking surface is all the way up to where he can hit me. As opposed to with this, take one, hold on. From right here, take one big step forward. He's past my striking surface unless I immediately start moving and trying to chop, right? At 2 steps forward, there's literally no way I can recover from that. But with this, leg them, stab them,
Yeah.
make them regret.
And user range. The beauty about like polearm against Florentine is that Florentine is a very squishy.
Yes.
So you have to get really good at stabbing them. Like
Yes. So against Florentiners, my bread and butter against a Florentiner is to fake that stab, and then when they, yeah, take that outside arm, and then just start poking and swatting at legs, right? Make them regret the audacity.
Yeah. And
You
trust
dare
we've got
approach
plenty.
me?
Do what?
No, trust me, we've got plenty of audacity.
Yeah, plenty of audacity.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Now we're going to do a little bit of pole versus pole. Come here. All right. So if you find yourself in a one-on-one fight, we'll go over one-on-one, and then we'll go over working against a polearm in a line fight. One-on-one, Fitz, can she borrow your long pole? Okay, so one-on-one, what you're going to want to try and do is, first thing you're going to do is look at what grip they're using and what guard they're using. She's using a shovel grip and a mid guard, as you all should. So you want to mirror that, and you want to try and steal the inside lane so that you can take that step and throw your stab. Even better, you can mirror, like exact mirror them and steal the inside lane. That way, as you're throwing your stab, you can do in, so I will get deep on you for just a second. I cut all of this stuff out of my normal class, but there are treatises written in like the 14 and 1500s about how to fight with a great weapon. And one of the terms that they use in that is master striking. And you can master strike by learning how to defend and strike at the same time. So in this instance, if I'm trying to throw a master strike towards Lightning's chest, I'm going to steal the inside lane, and I'm going to throw the shot, keeping my pole in between their pole so that I can stab and block their shot. Yes. So if I stab and they throw low, right? I can throw my blade and try and avoid that shot. If they throw mid, I can throw my right here, try to avoid that shot. If they throw high, I can here try to avoid that shot. Mirroring is very good against another great weapon. Also opposing. So if I'm like right here, you can steal the inside and take the arm, but you're opening yourself up to like a offhand stab or anything like that. Really, pole on pole is where your 4D chess comes in, because they have all of the same range, all of the same strikes, all of the same options as you. So maneuvering is really important when you're fighting another pole. Anybody here ever been in the military? Okay, so in Desert Storm, there was this thing, World War II up to about Desert Storm, there was a thing when tanks deployed against other tanks called tank fencing. Tanks would literally drive next to each other, and their barrels would point at each other, and one barrel would push another barrel out of the way, and then vice versa, until somebody got somewhere that they could shoot into the opposing tank. That's what a polearm fight is you're fencing at range. So you're going to be doing a lot of like maneuvering, like throwing, feints, using your footwork. You're going to try and get into a position to where you can throw something that they cannot block, and they don't have somewhere that they can also throw a shot against you. So like I said, if I blade beat this out, throw to that arm, go ahead and drop your arm, she can still stab me. Like, just bring that up. Yeah.
Nice lightning.
I can't actually lift it heavy enough. I can't lift it with one
Okay.
hand.
That is
I
not a
don't
light bulb.
recommend actually doing that thing. Sorry.
I don't know. I just learned something cool right now.
Yeah, that's a core memory unlocked.
That was fancy.
Another thing that you could do for you Belagarth fighters, come in a little close. If you find yourself in what's called the bind, switch stances, just like that. Yeah, or no, yeah. If you find yourself in what's called the bind, and you're right here, right, you can switch your hands, right, and bring your blade, and literally just drive them back onto the ground. I think I taught that at SKBC one year.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. So for Belagarth fighters, that's legal. It's not legal for Amp Guard fighters, but we have a couple of Belagarth fighters. Yeah, if you find yourself close quarters and in a bind, and you're even-footed, literally just switch your hands and step behind them, and then drive them backwards. What would I do in Amp Guard for that? Lateral away. If I find myself, go ahead and step into the same position. So that foot forward, that foot. If I find myself here and I'm in the bind, I'm going to try and push their pole away, keep my pole between theirs as I lateral out or back out, and then try to take an arm or a leg or something to eliminate their ability to follow me.
Let's show you the other side.
Okay?
Is there a handed difference with polearm?
No.
Considering it's a singular weapon, like as per UP or left?
No, I covered that a little bit earlier. So the good thing about pole arms is you don't have to worry about like what hand you are, because you can make an angle in a fulcrum with both hands, so it doesn't really, but yeah. You come over here. Yeah. So, other side. Yeah. So if you find yourself in the bind, right, and you're not playing Belagarth, you want to push their pole arm out as you are lateraling out so that you can keep this between you as they're trying to strike, right, and then try to cut and get away. Anybody have any questions on that?
Why would you want to try it?
You want to try it? Here.
So the one part I have questions about is when and where I switch up.
Okay.
So under.
Yeah.
And in the range.
Yeah. You don't usually want to be at that range with the pole.
Right. I thought we were. Sorry, I wasn't thinking.
Are you talking about in the bind?
Yeah.
Sorry.
For Belagarth or for Amp Guard?
For Belagarth.
For Belagarth? Okay. So if they are right here, no, go ahead and keep your stance, but turn half a turn that way. Okay. And you are that hand on the bottom, that hand on the top, and then mirror her footing, just like that. All right. So if you're in the bind and y'all are struggling against each other, right, drive this hand down, right, and then bring this hand up to the top, just like that. Yep. Yeah. You just.
It's a basic hip check just with a pole.
Yep. Yep. Just like that. Now, stop. Yeah, right there. Now, angle. No. Angle your pole in.
Oh, in.
So that you can use
Oh,
this.
the pole is also
Yes.
on the person. Oh, okay.
Yes.
instead of mega flame.
Yeah.
I've got that.
Yep.
It's this stuff that I don't know. I got the coffee with my butt.
Now for amp guard, go ahead. You keep that and you keep that. Return back to this hand on bottom. Okay. I don't like pommel. Yeah. So if you're in the bind, so take a step closer, right? What you're going to want to do is take your arms and push them far out, right? Now take a step back with that foot, right? And take a lateral step out with that foot, like that. Well, that way, really. And keep this out so that as they're striking, you can step back. Go ahead.
I'm so
That's okay.
sorry.
No, that's fine. That's my fault for being in range. But as you take that step back, you want to try and capitalize and you want to try and take that arm. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. More or less, yeah. Like here.
I'm really
No, you're good. Stand right here. And I will not hit you in the face. Okay, so we're in the bind, right? Amp guard. Arms go out. Guard persists so that if they're trying to strike up and down, you can you have a surface between the two of you, right? And then you're going to take a step back with this foot and step out with this foot and come down. You want to try and take that arm because you're on the inside lane. So you want to block everything that they have, take that step out, and then take your lateral step and throw your shot at the same time. Now, this is not an ideal scenario for any pole fighter. You don't ever want to be this close, but there are some pole fighters, like my friend DeVry up in Washington. He believes rubbing is racing, so he will get that close to you.
You have to get used to the very aggro fighters that want to be all up in your rails. You have to learn how to either disengage or beat them at their game.
That's true. Any questions about that? Okay. Any questions about fighter theory for pole on pole?
You're first. You're speaking first. Nope. You're going first.
Did you ever feel pressed to try and the blade?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. If I were to try to use this as a sword.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Against a pole?
But just in general.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't use it choked up that far. I would use it about longsword length. But yeah, you can, because you have all of this blocking surface. And even if you're using it just to try and get away and get back to your team, in a class fight, if you're armed and you know that you can get healed, you can use this to block as you're withdrawing. In a ditch line, if you know that you can still be effective if you're behind a shield wall, but all of your shields on this end have died, you can get down to the other end. You can use this as a block to get away from people as you're recovering into your team. And yeah, you can also use it to strike if you have an opportunity. But yeah.
But more fighter theory, if I'm going up against you, I mean, obviously I have a shorter pole.
Yeah.
I want to press you hard to get inside your range.
Yes.
Especially if you know someone is proficient with the pole.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what you're going to want to do, if you have a much smaller great weapon, and you have to get inside my range, the best thing that you're going to want to do is try and put me in the bind. So instead of using your blade to try and manipulate my blade, because I've got all the range and I've got more torque on my blade, I can literally just push your blade anywhere that I want it. What you're going to want to do is choke up hard on your pole.
Oh, okay. Going forward.
And then as I throw a strike, just like that, and then try to get to get as close to me as you can.
And then technique versus obviously I have a speed pole, but versus say the heavy poles.
So this is actually a speed pole. It's not super heavy.
Okay. Well,
it's just an 8-foot speed pole.
Breaking or crushing type something with a lot more heft.
Yeah.
How to fight against that? Pole on pole or even sword and shield.
Okay, so if you're playing a battle game against a pole that has crushing breaking and you're a shield, don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that simple. They're going to leg you, they're going to eliminate your shield, and then they're going to kill you. Because that's the mechanics of the game. Right. If you're in a ditch, the diameter of the blade doesn't matter. All of the same things that you would try to do to a speed pole, you can try to do to a heavy pole. Pole on pole, sword and board on pole, all of the mechanics are the same because that's no longer crushing breaking. Gotcha. So the only time you need to worry about the diameter of a pole arm is in a battle game. in which case I wouldn't. I mean,
I've just come across
unless
some
you
people
can
using-
unless you can flank them,
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
they're doing like really big swings and using the weight of the weapon to like power through. So I was just trying to figure out like maybe is there any tips or techniques you do of like dodge it, jump it?
So do not try to jump a polearm. That will end bad for you. What year was it?
I mean, unless you want to be on the pole.
What year was it? At Clan.
Oh God,
2018.
Where I started.
We were jugging, and somebody tried to jump my pole because I threw at their leg.
Yeah.
I think it was the quick, tried to jump my pole because I kept legging them. So I threw like I was gonna leg them, and they tried to jump, and I literally just stabbed them and picked them up.
Yep.
And I was like,
Yep.
boop. Don't try to jump a pole. You can avoid a pole easy enough, but don't try and jump a pole. One, it's dangerous. Two, that's our favorite thing in the world is pick people out of the air.
I've done it. It's fun.
But yeah, if you're fighting a heavier pole and they're just muscling through
Yeah,
you,
they're doing a lot of legs.
so a lot of my fighting style is very quick. I'm not going to start from up here. I don't use a very heavy pole arm. Most of my stuff is going to be in and out, small circles, and quick. If you are fighting somebody who has a very heavy pole and they are using very heavy shots, just wait for them to go back. Chances are you are going to be able to get into position to hit them before the hurtful part of their weapon can come down and get a shot against you. Now, at the same time, you risk getting hit with a actual hurtful part of their pole, but I mean, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other for that. Like, you have to pick your poison. But yeah, if you're fighting somebody who is like just muscling through everybody, beating people's blades out of the way, like throwing legs and like potentially hurting people, or throwing to shields and moving people out of the way with their big heavy polearm, chances are they're putting a lot of upper body mechanics into it. And when they pull to throw that big shot, I mean, they're opening themselves up. Anything else? Questions? Questions? Okay. Anybody want to practice any of the stuff that I? Okay. No? Yeah, let's pair off. Why not?
I pulled my back last week, and I'm just trying to baby myself.
Yeah.
This is the number one thing that I'll pull again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, yours is light. What is this? Gorg?
It is a Gorg, absolutely. But yours is lighter. I like it a lot. Where'd you get yours? Did you make yours?
Warlord Sports.
Really?
Yeah, before they shut down.
Before shenanigans happened. Yeah, totally fair. Maybe.
I'll make it.
Grab it. I want one of
I
these.
went up against somebody who had something like this, so my
I
only
do.
way. to
Don't
get
worry
me
about it.
At all.
Thank
was
you.
to
Yeah.
Go down guard.
Do what?
Yeah.
So I think Brett still makes these sometimes. In fact, he makes some that are they break in half. So yeah. Yes. Okay.
So that's the last game he's got.
Yeah.
The only way I could get in on certain people was to like down speed that sucker and come in like this and try to sweep a leg or something like that.
So another thing that you can do, I guess since the class is over.
If I were to strap